Hello, my name is Bridget, and today I will be talking to you guys about speaking style. We will cover jargons, euphemisms, slang, metaphors, both regular and mixed, similes, cliches, alliterations, repetitions, and antithesis. Jargons. Jargons are words or phrases that is used by a specific profession and may be difficult for people who aren't in that profession to understand. An example of a jargon is when doctors or other medical professionals try to tell you what you have using medical terms that you might not understand, and you may ask for clarification on the medical terms they used. Euphemisms are a mild or indirect word or expression that substitutes for a more harsh or blunt phrase. One example of a euphemism is saying someone might be laid off from their job instead of saying they were fired. As you can see, the substitution may seem like a less harsh term than fired, especially when it comes to something sensitive, such as a job. Slang are words and phrases that are seen as very informal and is used by a specific group or in a specific context. The quote, "It's lit," is an example of slang, simply meaning that something is exciting. There are many other examples of slang that we use in our everyday language. There are two different types of metaphors. There are mixed metaphors and regular metaphors. A metaphor is a figure of speech which compares two actions or objects that are completely different. An example of metaphor is, "She has a heart of gold." A person can actually have a heart of gold, but the metaphor helps us understand the girl's personality. Mixed metaphors are a combination of two or more conflicting metaphors which produce a ridiculous effect, sometimes referred to as dead metaphors. An example of a mixed metaphor is, "We'll cross that bridge when we come to it." This is a popular and most commonly used example of a mixed metaphor in the English language. Metaphors can be a bit tricky because many metaphors can be confused as mixed metaphors. Metaphors describe two dissimilar things, while a mixed metaphor is just a combination of metaphors that produces a bit of a silly effect. Similes are a comparison of two different objects or actions using the words like or as. In a popular song called "Young Volcanoes" by Fall Out Boy, they used the quote, "We are wild, we are like young volcanoes." Here they are comparing their wildness to young volcanoes, which are usually prone to being wild or exploding. A cliche is a phrase or idea that is so overused that it lost its original meaning. Don't you hate it when you ask your parents for $20 and they say money doesn't grow on trees? This popular quote, used by many parents, is a great example of a cliche, and it meaning that money isn't easy to earn and you have a limited amount of money. That's so cliche, isn't it? Alliterations are the repetition of the same letter or sound at the beginning of words. These are also known as tongue twisters. One of the most popular alliterations is, "She sells seashells by the seashore." As you can see, S is the repeating letter in this alliteration, and the sh sound also repeats. Repetition is repeating the same word or phrases, usually to prove a point. In John F. Kennedy's speech about the decision to go to the moon, he repeats the phrase, "We choose to go to the moon." This is an example of repetition. Many songwriters use repetition in their songs to have a better effect on the listeners. Here, Bart Simpson's humorous detention punishment may not quite be a form of repetition, but it proves a point, right? Antitheses are two opposite ideas that are put together to create a contrasting effect. A quote by Neil Armstrong says, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." This is an example of antithesis because although taking a step is a normal activity everyone does, but taking a step on the moon is a major achievement for all of humanity. I hope you learned more about speaking styles and how they are used in our everyday language. Thanks for watching.